One thing that Ryan Poles is always doing is looking to improve the Chicago Bears roster. And two players right now are showing up in trade rumors, and there's interest from multiple parties in these guys. I'm going to break this down for you. If you like this type of content, make sure you hit the like button on the way in. And finally, we might be over an experiment that just hasn't worked out. All right, guys, so we have a report coming from Bleacher Nation. Nate Davis and Khalil Herbert are reportedly drawing trade interest from other teams. Now, a lot of you are going to be on the fence about Khalil Herbert because we need him as a backup, or so you would tell me. However, here's the problem, right? He's not playing any, and as far as backups go, could we be better off if we were to hold on to Khalil Herbert? Sure. But what we have right now is a player with value that other teams are seeking as valuable. And we're not going to get anything if we hold him on our roster at the end of this, because he's going to go out and he's going to get a significant raise. He's making about $1 million a year right now. He's going to get $3 to $5 to $7 million from any other team on his next year, and the Bears are not going to re-sign him for that fifth-year option. So the only thing that we have right now from Khalil Herbert is trade value, and his trade value probably works to our benefit, getting us maybe a nice seasoned backup or a draft pick for next year. Now, you know the Bears do have to restock and continue to improve this team every single year, and the draft is going to be the place to do that. Now, there was a 6th round pick, I want to say, that was offered for him allegedly so far to this point, and we were looking for at least a 5th, so it was passed on. There's somebody out there who's going to give up a 5th round pick for Khalil Herbert. So consider that Khalil Herbert probably at this point gone from the Chicago Bears. But the big one that matters the most right here is Nate Davis. Nate Davis has been underwhelming, to say the least, for the Chicago Bears. You guys remember last year, he looked okay, but never great. But he was making $12 million a year. He was getting paid really good money for being only okay, and he was sporadic at best. Now, a lot of that came down to he was dealing with a death in his family. His mother had passed away, tragic circumstances for anybody to have to deal with. So he took time off the team to deal with that, but then he came back, also quietly injured just a little bit, and notoriously does not like to practice. That was a recipe for disaster for the Chicago Bears in this hiring. Now, you think that maybe somebody's going to change. Maybe they don't like to practice because they don't like the team. They don't like the setup. They don't like something, but they're very, very talented. Well, that's what we took. We took basically an enigma in Nate Davis, who had performed at a certain level, enough that he had value coming into the season, and it just didn't work out. Now you flash forward to this season, we made some big changes. Brought in Bill Murray as a backup. We brought in Matt Pryor as a backup. We brought in Coleman Shelton. We brought in Ryan Bates. And the reason at this point that Nate Davis even got a chance to play was because of the injury to Ryan Bates. But that also gave Bill Murray a chance. That also gave Matt Pryor more of a chance to work in the guard position, which suddenly turned Nate Davis into an expendable commodity at this point because he's just not living up to the hype that we had. So he's been benched. In fact, he was a healthy scratch in the last game, and he was healthy. But the Bears did not see a reason to even have him suit up and play. Let that sink in. The Nate Davis experiment is over. That means that Bill Murray, that means that Ryan Bates, that means that Matt Pryor, that means that Tevin Jenkins are your guards for the foreseeable future. Now, the thing is, Nate Davis does have some interest. Could he end up going to Indianapolis, who just had an injury at their guard position? Could he go to any one of these? And look, it doesn't matter at this point. What can you get for Nate Davis, and what will allow you to let go of at least a portion of that contract? Because what you don't want to do is you don't want to have $11 million worth of dead money going against you, which is about what it's going to cost, or $7 million for next season. So we're looking at that dead money number, and we want to wipe that off because we want to be clean going into this offseason so we have as much capital as possible to continue to build this team. Maybe grab some new free agents, free up some money to sign Keenan Allen, if in fact that's what we're going to do. And getting Nate Davis off of the payroll goes a long way to accomplishing that. Now, I'm going to ask you, what do you think that Khalil Herbert and Nate Davis are worth? I'll leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Look, if we can get a 4th or a 5th round pick for either one of these guys, I'm going to be happy, to the point that getting them off of the roster at this point is more beneficial with getting a draft pick than it is to hold on to them for a bigger and better deal, which probably is not coming. Nate Davis has to go. He's underperformed. Khalil Herbert should go. Would love to have him here forever, but he's got to go because it's the 4th year, which means that 5th year option we're not going to take. So all he is at this point is trade bait. No offense to Khalil Herbert. I think he's a fantastic runner. I think he's going to come back here. He's going to have a stellar career. I'm a fan of Khalil Herbert, but the Bears have decided to move on, so we have to come up with some value. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And remember to bear down. And how about those Lions yesterday?